Hello and welcome. My name is Ian Pelham Turner.
And I'm Helena Shard.
And this is the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show. So let's roll the credits and get on with the show. And as always, today, Helena's got some more great news stories, the royal stories. What is happening with the royal family?
So, Ian, there's lots and lots going on. I'm just going to give a small royal roundup of what's been happening. And I was giving a lot of thought to, obviously, King Charles and Queen Camilla, and it's been just over a year. And I think, hasn't it been a success? I think it's been incredibly good. And just thinking about who's around him, who's supporting him. And there's talk about Charlie's Angels, which I thought was very clever, of all the people that are supporting him. There's a lot of very strong women, which goes without saying in a sense, because obviously King Charles, brought up as Prince Charles, had his grandmother who brought him up. And so if you think about, there's Anne, who is his right-hand man, woman. There's Queen Camilla, who's there helping him all the time, and the Duchess of Edinburgh and Princess Catherine, Princess of Wales, always working really, really hard. But I wanted to bring in the Duke of Edinburgh as well, and I think the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh actually, they're very low-key and they do a huge amount of work. In fact, the Duke of Edinburgh, that's the Queen's youngest son, he is the third hardest working royal as it's perceived. And they never do anything wrong. And I think safest pairs of hands, really. Not the case as it was a while ago, but they've done so much. And obviously they've been to Turkey and Bahrain recently, and that's to promote the Duke of Edinburgh Award. And we've had Duchess of Edinburgh in Ethiopia, doing things for eyesight, trying to prevent blindness. And I just think they're an amazing support network to him. So I just wanted to bring that up. Yep. Moving on to movie glitter. So the Royal Foundation and the Prince and Princess of Wales have actually appointed Dame Pippa Harris. Now, she's going to be a director for the Royal Foundation, and she's a real eminent figure in showbiz, and is going to be giving advice on the artistic side. And I have heard rumours about the Royal Foundation being patented, lots of different little areas. So that's sort of an indication that there may be an event that's taking place in America very soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing
and I
if
think
that's
she's
the
either
case.
president or chair of BAFTA as well, this lady.
Yeah, she is. And what's that, the one with the babies? Call the Midwife, which is a brilliant programme in the UK. And she's always, a big thing on that. So moving on, I wanted to mention, now everyone's been talking about this, so season 6 of The Crown coming to Netflix. Now, people are slightly worried about it. I haven't seen it, so this is just reports. This is reporting as I've seen it. So November the 16th, part 1 begins, and obviously this is going to be covering the death of Diana, so 1997. It is going out 2 days after Charles's 75th birthday, so it's slightly uncomfortable timing. Netflix, true to form, doing that. But it's slightly. I feel sorry for the boys, as in Prince William and Harry, and Diana is supposed to be coming to see Prince Charles, and also the late Queen Elizabeth as a ghost. So she's appearing as an apparition. And she speaks to both Charles and the Queen. And I think it is slightly uncomfortable, I have to say. Prince William has said that he is appalled by it, and he's not looking forward. He's sickened. He refuses to watch it. I get that. But because everyone's got their personal, private moments.
And it is very controversial, this bit. Absolutely. And I think, obviously I knew Diana, I worked with Diana, and I think the reality is that not even she would want something like this either.
I just think it's awful. I mean, the only thing I would say is that everyone was moaning about it. It's not a documentary, really, and they needed to put something on it to say that. But now this is obviously a dramatisation. That's the only good thing. But I don't know. It also will cover Kate and William when they met at the university. So there'll be different things as well. But that's season 6. And so I look forward to that. And I also want to speak about Queen Camilla. I think not very much is really spoke. She does such a lot of good, and as you know, Ian, as well, she is really good fun and really engaging. But what I love about her, she champions the importance of literacy, and it obviously creates life opportunities. And recently, she sent this wonderful poem to Sir Lenny Henry, and it's to do with a new writing competition called 500 Words. So if you're between 5 and 11, to write a story, and you don't have to worry about grammar or anything like that. It's really just to inspire imagination, creativity and celebration. And you've got until November the 10th to do this. I think it's amazing, and she's so fabulous. She has poetry together, and in fact she's part of the vice patron of the Royal Commonwealth Society, and I think since 2013 there's the essay competition, which is all part of the Commonwealth. So I think it's really admirable.
Excellent.
I just feel, so that is my Royal Roundup. We have lots and lots more, but until next time, I know we've got a snappy show.
We have got a snappy show today, and we will talk again in a minute. Okay, and now we move on to some of the most incredible stories that we've both found this week that I think will be of interest to our audiences right across the world at the same time. And strangely enough, we have a guest on today, Dame Elizabeth Negus. And Dame Elizabeth Negus is going to be one of the judges to judge this royal competition that you were just talking about.
Is that 500 words?
500
is that the Commonwealth
words.
one? Oh, I love that.
How about that?
Oh, that was meant to be, wasn't it?
It was meant to be today.
I'm so excited about it. Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Excellent. But we first start off today with Frances Bettencourt Mayers. This lady, she is the richest lady in the world. She's worth $87 billion. And she was really, her money has come from her grandmother and from L'Oreal, her grandmother started L'Oreal, and so she's inherited this incredible fortune at the same time. And really, basically, the money came from just a 1/3 stake in L'Oreal. Have you ever used L'Oreal? Do you like L'Oreal?
Yeah, I use L'Oreal, definitely. I heard, do you know, she's 70. I think she looks incredibly good for 70. Not that 70 is old, but
she
she
does.
does
Well, I'm
look amazing.
72. I hope I look...
No, you don't look like her.
No, I don't look like her. But the reality is that in the past year, her wealth went up $16 billion.
But do you know, I looked into that a little bit as well, because I think the brand has bought up shares in different companies as well, so that may be the reason. Well, it probably is the reason. Yeah. And I know that they bought into Prada, and that is a really luxurious product. Yeah. So now not just the perfume, but the skincare range has just come out.
So it's amazing. So perhaps I should start using L'Oreal. I don't know. It's a thing.
Good.
But anyway, we will move on. We will move on swiftly. It's now been decided that the most expensive suite in a hotel in London is the Royal Suite at the Lanesborough Hotel. And this cost £26,000. Yes, you said it, £26,000 a night. And apparently recently, when this first was formulated, one billionaire decided to have 3 weeks there as well. I think, my goodness me, so what it is like to have money. But apparently, this is something I'm sure you will enjoy, because wherever you are, if you come in by train into London, for example, you're picked up by a butler and you're taken by Rolls-Royce Phantom to the hotel. And then you see this incredible hotel 8 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, food to die for. The only one hitch, and there's a hitch to this, it doesn't include breakfast.
I think it's incredible. So you can have free-flowing Dom Perignon
Yes.
the whole time and no breakfast, which
Absolutely.
I think is amazing.
And apparently it's this suite of bedrooms is all for the technophiles, because everything is hidden away, but including the televisions. So the televisions, you can see the television in each bedroom, but they're hidden behind paintings. And so when you want the television, the painting disappears and up comes the television. So it's the most amazing things. And it has Victoria. So Victoria is a man who is the royal butler for these as well. And he does 7-course meals for them. So I think...
And no breakfast.
Lady
I
Cece,
still can't believe
you're in the lap of luxury if we
can
could
you
ever get
imagine?
there.
I know, and everything's gold leaf apparently, and obviously you've got all the antique paintings, so it's the finest sort of period detail, which is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And I think occupation is something like 60%, and so you're looking at about 6 million just from that one royal suite, which is.
So it's amazing, and the reality is the only thing that made me laugh when I was doing the research on this was no breakfast. So I mean, so you could just imagine at the end of the sort of the night's stay, and you've had Dom Perignon coming out of your ears. You've had 7-course meals all day and all night. It's a 24-hour butler service as well. But at the end of the day, no bacon butties in the morning, you know.
Not for me. I'm an absolute breakfast person. I wonder what it says then, why they don't do breakfast.
I don't know. Anyway, we move swiftly on to another doyen of the past, but it's the Elvis Presley exhibition at the London Arches at London Bridge. And so this is a collection of, that's come straight from Memphis, from his home, Graceland's, and really has a whole series of about 400 different artifacts. So you used to sort of know some Elvis lookalikes at some times.
Some, hundreds, absolutely hundreds, some of them absolutely brilliant, I have to say. But I think this is incredible because you don't have to go to Graceland now to sort of, you know, really sift through his legacy.
Well, absolutely. And so there's a lot of photographs. There's his gold lame jacket. I would love to have his gold lame jacket. But also his Ferrari Dino has turned up as well as part of it. So, you know, it's basically someone who, and I used to be a great fan of Elvis Presley. And I used to buy most of his records as well. So, and I remember, strangely enough, the day he died, I used to drive an old Beetle car, and my Beetle car broke down on the A2, the main road into London. And as I got to a petrol station, there was the sign on the petrol station saying, Elvis Presley has died. So there we go. Anyway, we move on swiftly one more time. It's Madonna now.
This is Madonna. I have got lots and lots of friends have seen Madonna. In fact, is she on tomorrow night as well? But she's so it's been
and then
such
she's
a
coming
big
back
thing.
again as well in December.
She is, and she's been urging fans to unite in light and love as the tour opens. So. Yeah, which is a great thing. And she has her children.
Absolutely. 4 or 6 children are coming on stage as well to perform. And so I don't know that much about Madonna, to be perfectly honest. But so apparently she opens up the concert with Nothing Really Matters and then goes into the groove.
Yeah, and it's a big stage performance. Lots of, you know, torsos and dancing. And I mean, she's so good, isn't she? But to bring in her children, apparently one of her twins is an incredible dancer, so they've got this whole setup. And I think unfortunately, she overran time-wise because of technicalities, and she may be fined £300,000
Oh my goodness me.
at O2, which is not so good. But I have heard good news as well that she's going to be heading one of our big concerts next year, I think.
Okay.
Glastonbury, that's
Glastonbury.
it.
Well, there we go.
But she's great. I mean, you know, she's been through so many. In fact, you know, she used to absolutely love Princess Diana.
Absolutely. Well, that's our news roundup for the moment. We're just going to take a short break, and then we're going to bring on Dame Elizabeth Negus this afternoon, and we're going to have a long chat with her about. She's a major educationalist in Britain. She's a Dame of the Knight of St George as well, so we've been at those types of functions in the past as well. It's a very old hereditary ceremony and group of people, very, very important people from across the world.
I wonder if she knows Queen Camilla.
Well,
500
who
words.
knows?
Or Lenny Henry.
We will come back soon. Okay, so now welcome back. I now want to introduce our wonderful guest for this afternoon, Dame Elizabeth Negus. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Ian.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
And you're a Dame of the Order of St George, which is one of the most heraldic orders going back to the 16th century. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So you have done a lot to do with education. What inspired you in the first place?
What inspired me? Number one, I have a love for education, and my dad is Caribbean. And if you know anything about the Caribbean, education has always been the focal point. My dad always believed if you have a good education, then you could fly to the moon. And of course, I remember Tony Blair, our past Tony Blair talking about education, education, education. So from a very young age, I had this desire to be well educated because I saw the benefits about being educated, and I had my dad to support me. May I just add, by the age of 7, 8, my dad took me to the local library, and the first book I picked up was Mary Queen of Scots. 7, 8 years, I had no idea who Mary Queen of Scots was, but I was fascinated by her attire, the ruff around her neck, and I was more interested in the pictures as a 7-year-old. And I think from that moment on, I took a liking to Britain, its heritage, its language, and I fell in love with just the lexis of English language and English literature. Yes.
Oh, I love hearing you talk. I know you could talk for hours. I love the fact as well that you have judged competitions. We were talking about the 500 words. If you want to just elaborate a little bit more on things that you've done in the past and maybe could be working on coming up.
Yes, I'm a judge for the English Speaking Union. So over the past how many years, I've worked with students in secondary schools, preparing them for preparing their debating skills, their speaking and listening skills. I think it's something, apart from reading and writing, we lack in England, the ability to speak clearly, accurately, and to give answers with substance. And of course, we can go into why this is, but just to answer your question, so I've been called in to work with certain schools, having them to practice debate in schools, where in the end result, we had to go to the House of Lords for them to debate on a very, very high level. So it wasn't just in a committee room. We had to be in the chambers debating and speaking. And my job is to develop their speaking skills, to use words that, paint vivid pictures in the reader's mind, to be able to explain clearly and comment, and also to bring in knowledge where history is concerned, culture is concerned, without separating them. So when you do speaking skills and you're working with students, it's not done in a vacuum. Students have to be well equipped in social, historical, cultural background, so they have a good grasp, an excellent grasp of the topic, yes.
And I believe as well you chair the diversity working group at the National Liberal Club. So just tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yes, with pleasure. In 2018, the chair of the National Liberal Club had this working group, and he chaired it for one meeting. And at the end of the meeting, there was a vote to say, well, we want Elizabeth to be the chair of the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. I took up the challenge. I want to start by saying that when I joined the National Liberal Club in 2016/2017, the majority of people were Caucasians. If you go to the National Liberal Club now, it is so diverse, it's unbelievable. And one of the mantras that was that we would make it the most inclusive club in London. Having taken on the role of chair, I felt it was my job, my duty, to bring in as many people as possible from diverse backgrounds and introduce them to the club for lots of reasons. Whether if they join, great. If they just come for an event and they spend money, great. Either way, we win. So since 2016 till now, I've been a very vocal voice in the sense that I bring in people to talk at the National Liberal Club. They in turn bring guests. I was saying earlier on today that I'm at the point of changing equality, diversity and inclusion to global cultures because I think that's more appropriate. I was invited I was interviewed just like I'm being interviewed there. What is it about equality, diversity and inclusion? How can we make the club more diverse? So the club do have a recording of me identifying ways where we can reach out to people in different communities where it's not where we don't have pockets of people that have an exorbitant amount of money and can enjoy the benefits of being at the club, but it's open to everyone. And one of the things I've come to realize in our lives, everyone should be valued, and that money should not differentiate people or stop them from achieving something or enjoying something. And when I look at the club and the people I've met and known and those I invite, they come from all walks of life.
Just to say, you've got such energy. I love that passion because, people need that optimism and hope. So I can see that you're so good at what you do.
Thank you.
One other thing I was thinking as well, luxury brands are taking more of an active role in promoting philanthropic ways. And I know that Gucci's got the Changemakers program, and there's various, obviously, luxury brands buying into that. Do we need more of that? Because obviously that's more scholarship programs.
I strongly believe we need more of that based on the fact that young people are very much into luxury brands, they're into celebrity brands, so they will buy into it. But most importantly, I can tell you, statistics show that there are so many talented and gifted people out there, young people, but what's stopping them is the money. So where we can have all these brands and they're doing things to offer scholarships to people who don't have the opportunities or the finances to do it, I think it's a good idea. It is something that I would support.
That's terrific. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Dame
you.
Elizabeth, today. I mean, it's been great
What a
talking
treat.
to you. Come back on the show again because you're a natural. You're a
Thank
natural.
you,
Ian.
Ian. I would love to be back. Thank you very much.
So I think, Helena, that we had a great show. Basically, the new series of Royally Rich Lifestyle Show goes out on ALB UK and will be going out on other places as well. But we thank ALB UK TV and Helena Castrati for the use of the studios and for the availability to actually create a show like this as well. But it's been another incredible show.
Look forward to the next one.
We will look forward to the next one. So from me, have a good afternoon.
And from me too. See you soon.
Take care and goodbye.